See me?
You're there. Okay, this is Paul Michael Davis and Ty Russell. Ty's gonna take over for a little bit and talk to you some about the upcoming events and the news as it is today. So I'll be right back.
I don't know any news.
When you're done, hit that stop broadcast.
Stop broadcast. Get your bit PD.
Sweetness.
All right. Folks, I don't know if he really knows what he's getting himself into. Turn this over to me because anything's happened. Anyway, I guess I'll maybe mention this thing that went on in Pakistan the other day. It was pretty horrendous, in my opinion, and I'm sure the rest of you think the same way. My God, I could just scare violence in any form. And when I really get to thinking about it, it's silly, and I don't get it. It's pretty sad that that's how it goes down. But of course, I don't think we need to be over there at all. What you all think about that? But that's what I think about it. Anyway, I can't believe we turned this whole thing over to me. I'll let you know, last week was my debut. I was plenty nervous then, and I thought, well, this time I'm going to be just cool and calm and collected. But then he hits me with this solo deal, so just bear with me. I can't stay long, so we're just gonna, let's see, what else is trending right now? What were we hitting on last time? When we quit the other day, he mentioned something about our mayor getting free tickets to I believe it was the Dancing with the Stars thing, and I don't know what the point was going to be with that, but one of these days, supposedly we're going to get set up with some telephones where we can get where we can have y'all call in and discuss things like this. This is all pretty new and definitely new to me. So, anyways, let's see what else. Oh yeah, on the local scene, I might as well just get this off my chest right now. For several years, I was a professional truck driver, and I was seeing just about everything you can see on the road, and witnessed almost every kind of disaster, and different kind of drivers you see out there. But locally, I was just telling Paul earlier that several years ago I discovered I have this kind of a gift of foresight, and a lot of the people that know me can attest to this. Several years ago, I was at a party, just chilling, and I've got to pop up here. What is this? I'm not going to pay any attention to that unless it just. Of course, this whole thing might blow up my face right now. Nothing I can do about it. Anyway. So, anyways, I'm at this party and I'm kicking back, and I think of 4 different people that I hadn't seen in at least 2 years, and in the 48 hours after that, I seen all 4 of them. Well, that's peculiar. And then I also have this friend of mine that it seems like every time I have a dream about this person, I will hear from him. At least within a week. where I was going with this on the traffic issue was I was um, I was going down Osage Street one day, and I just don't get in a hurry. After I stopped driving trucks for a living, I told myself, man, I am never getting in a hurry again, because that's all I did for several years was, hurry up. You're always a day late, no matter what time you got started, it seemed like. So I vowed that I was just never gonna rush around like that again. Lost a lot of sleep, but it was real hard on the health. But anyways, so so I don't get in a hurry hardly ever. Well, hardly ever at all, and at least not on the road. I like to take my time and be aware of my surroundings and what's in front of me and what's behind me and on both sides. And anyways, I'm going down Osage Street, and I'm probably going 20, 25, which is, in my opinion, 30 miles an hour in any residential zone. No matter how wide the street is or what, that's too fast, because if a child darts out between two cars, chasing the ball or his puppy dog or whatever, and runs out in front of you, you're not going to be able to stop. I don't care how good a driver you are. That's just too, in my opinion, too fast in town in a residential area. So anyways, I'm creeping along there at my usual pace, and driver behind me decides to pass in town on a residential street. This is not the first time this has happened to me. I've had people pass me on the square. And but anyway, so when that happened, I thought to myself, sooner or later somebody's going to get hurt out here. And that was probably just about a week before those two little girls got run over on that bicycle, and that blew me away. But people, Americans hate to be told how to drive. I realize that, and you're 10 foot tall and bulletproof in your vehicle, but that just ain't the case. And man, I'd just like to urge everybody just to kind of, there's really no need to hurry and put folks in jeopardy, including yourself. And it doesn't take much effort to reach up there and use your turn signals. And it only takes a split second to make a complete stop at a stop sign. And I just would like to urge people to think about that. Think about what you're doing when you're behind the wheel, besides what you're gonna do. You do what you're gonna do when you get there. I'm not scolding nobody, and like I said, people don't like to hear about. They don't like to criticize when they're driving. But after 30 years as a professional driver, I've been seeing some of the things I've seen, and they're not pretty. And that reminds me of something that happened to me back in the summertime. I was on Old Kansas City Road, I believe it was, and I was on Old Kansas City Road, and I was going over to Osawatomie, and as usual, I'm not in a hurry. That's another misconception that folks have is, they get irate with you if you don't just drive right up against the maximum speed limit. Well, you don't have to do that. You're not required to drive the maximum speed limit. Most of the times I don't feel comfortable driving the maximum speed limit on most of the roads. Um, but anyways, so it's a 55-mile-an-hour zone, and on the county roads out around the town or out around outside the town and stuff, I tend to run about 45. One point I'd like to make is that I figure if I'm going 5 to 10 miles an hour slower than the rest of the traffic, I'm probably not going to have to worry about running into the back of somebody. When if a deer or a dog or a kid or whatever, runs out on the road, and people are all over the brakes, I don't want to be in that mess. It's it's hard on your health, and it's hard on your pocketbook and your vehicle. Anyway, excuse me. So I'm driving along there, minding my own business, trying to be as safe as I can be out there, and naturally, I have at least 3 cars behind me, and of course the first one is right on my tail. And let me point out something here. Tailgating is illegal. Driving under the speed limit is not illegal. As long as you're between the maximum speed limit and the minimum speed limit. I used to have drivers on the road tell me, I'd be driving 5, miles an hour to the speed limit, which is my practice kind of, like I said. And they say, driver, least you could do is the speed limit. No, the most I can do is the speed limit. As long as I'm between the minimum and the maximum, I'm within the law. And I'm not out there to cater to you folks. I've got my own agenda. You people have your agenda, but while you're on the road, that needs to be the agenda for the moment. Anyway, so I have the first car is of course right on my tail, and the next one, it's just, here we are in this little knot. Well, the first vehicle passes me on the left on a double yellow line. The 2 behind him passes me on the right shoulder. This is kind of out in the vicinity of the airport, barbecue joint and everything. So I thought, well, that's par for the course. It doesn't surprise me. People do that all the time. So I get into town, and I get pulled over by the local law enforcement, and he proceeds to tell me, well, we had someone call in and reported that you was out on Old Kansas City Road driving slow, and they were concerned that you were maybe drinking and driving. He says, why were you going so slow? I said, because I'm not in a hurry. And he looked at me like I was crazy, which doesn't surprise me because most people, as a rule, they don't, that's all, they're rushing around just as quick as they can get there. And I said, no, I'm not in any hurry. I don't hurry. That's just a policy of mine. I like to be safe and be ready to react to whatever, may happen. And so after he was satisfied that I was not out drinking and driving, terrorizing the county, he said, well, maybe you just better speed up a little bit. And at that point, I just pretty much clammed up. I felt there was no point of pressing that issue any further. I wasn't flabbergasted, but I'll just let it go at that. Uh-oh. Batteries reserve. We're going on reserve. We're going on reserve battery level here. I don't know how to turn that thing off. Is that right in my thing? If you don't plug in your computer soon, it will hibernate it will hibernate. I'm not hip to this computer stuff too much. Anyway, before we get cut off here, I just want to say that when the officer took off, I watched him go off, and he went to stop at the stoplight, made a right turn without using his turn signal. And I'm thinking to myself, here I am. I'm the only one in this whole situation that didn't break the law, and I'm the one that gets pulled over and detained, which wasn't in no hurry. It didn't hurt anything, but just the principle of the thing. Anyway, I wonder how I make that go away. Let's see. I don't know if you people can see that or not. There's a deal right in the middle of the screen, right where my face is, that says plug in or find another power source. Your battery power is low, 7%. If you don't plug in your computer soon, it will hibernate automatically. I don't know. He didn't leave me with much to work with here. So here we got a technical professional here. Who's gonna fix me up, right? These laptops I'm not too familiar with. I guess they're basically the same, but okay, now I know how to do it. There, it's gone away. Thank you very much. Michelle, right?
Yes.
Thank you, Michelle. So did I get done with that story? I think I did. And that sort of thing happens all the time too. Actually, that's not the first time I'd been pulled over for somebody calling in and saying, and I'm not doing anything but just driving slow, but I think most of the time when that happens, when they call in on you like that, it's just you made them mad, and they're gonna show you a thing or two. But, oh yeah, another thing on the local traffic is this is probably not the last time you're gonna hear all this from me, because things happen to me daily out there, just because I'm just too slow for folks, I guess. But that's one thing I'd like to promote is this day and age is a little bit of laid backness, That's how I like to put it, laid backness. Doesn't hurt nothing, and it's you get in a hurry and things happen. It just does. And if you see as many broken, battered bodies, dead children, that sort of thing. Read my lips, dead children. Yeah, it ain't pretty, folks. That leads me up to another point I wanted to make locally, and a lot of you will know what I'm talking about here. At the intersection of, I guess that's still Silver Street on the square, Silver and Pearl Street. When you are southbound on Silver Street, not Pearl Street, Peoria Street, I'm sorry, on the north side of the square. If you are southbound on Silver Street at the intersection of Peoria, common misconception here locally is there is no designated right turn lane there. You know how if you're sitting there waiting for the light and they'll pull up on the right side of you. There's a left turn lane, and there is the regular lane. There is no designated right turn lane there. So, and I've seen this happen before too. So if you coming up south on Silver Street and you come up and you decide to go and pull on the inside of that grain truck that's sitting there, and you get, and the driver runs over the hood of your car with his trailer wheels. Not his fault, ladies and gentlemen. I seen this happen up at Stanley one time when I used to haul rock out of the quarries up there. This would have been the intersection of 151st Street and Old Metcalf, right there in the middle of Stanley. It used to be Stanley. Stanley does not exist anymore. It's been swallowed up by Overland Park, and I witnessed all that because I spent several years up there being a part of that. I guess they call it progress. I don't really know what to call it, but listen, I mean, everything gets bigger. You know, we got more people all the time, and that's just the natural evolution of that deal, I reckon. But anyway, it was, you know, Stanley used to be a nice little town, little slow, you know, kind of just stuck off the side of the highway there. Anyways, partner of mine was sitting at the stop sign. I don't know if there's a stoplight there, or was that a four-way stop at the time? There might have been a light there. In his truck, dump truck, tractor trailer, and he was getting ready to make his right turn when a woman squeezed up on the inside of him. He did not see her, and so he proceeds to make his right turn and drags his trailer up over the hood of her car. You know, that's what they have, them little signs on the back of them trucks that say this vehicle makes wide right turns. Well, you have to, because if you don't, you'll run over the curb and take out the light pole and everything else is right there. So anyways, she was, it didn't, you know, she was okay. It didn't hurt her or anything. But it demolished her car, to say the least. And she was pretty irate about that. Let me just point it right in my face. Anyway, she was pretty irate about that. And so you just wait till the cops get here and blah, blah, blah. Well, when the highway patrolman got there, he informed this woman that, no, this was your fault. You should not have pulled up on the right side of that truck. You know, there's no right turn lane there. So anyway, and another thing, this is not locally. This is everywhere. This is everywhere you go. Okay, when you're coming down the ramp to get onto the highway, the whole highway is not obligated to yield to you. You know, you have to yield. If there's no room to merge at the end of that ramp, then you have to come to a complete stop if there's no room to merge. The courteous thing to do for the people that are on the freeway is to move over, but if there's no room to move over and they can't make that maneuver, you have to yield to that traffic. You know, the whole world doesn't have to yield to you on that ramp. I think people ought to sit down and spend a little time reading the traffic manual, because I have, as a professional truck driver, we have to be well trained. We have to be certified. We have to be drug and alcohol free, and we have to know the rules. And it wouldn't hurt for folks to maybe brush up on those rules every now and then, because things get ugly real quick. And people, it only takes a split second, you know, to do something that you're going to regret your whole life. I don't know who said that, but man, that is one good piece of advice. It really is. Anyway, man, I wonder if there's anything more lighthearted we can talk about here. Where you at, Paul? Where you at? No, he said I could shut this thing down whenever I'm ready. But I have other obligations here pretty soon. Michelle, can you see that clock? Or I can't see that clock there. What time does it say?
It says 20 till 3.
20 till 3. I got time yet because I've got this mess down the bottom corner of the screen where it tells the time, so I can't see it. And I'm not exactly sure how to get rid of it, but I'm going to try this and see what happens. Oh, there we go. Okay, how about the later button? Later. It's not responding. Okay. Maybe I better read it and just see what it is. There I go preaching about reading the handbook, and I'm just ignoring this thing here. Driver manager has detected a new driver for you. Oh. Well, how about that? We're talking about drivers here. This thing pops up. Driver manager has the latest driver waiting for you. And it is recommended that you install a new driver for this device. Would you like to do it now? No, I would like to do it later. It'll go away. Oh. Now, okay, now if I press that, then the time comes up down here. Okay. I hope I don't wreck this machine. I'm a lot better truck driver than I'm a computer operator. I'll put it that way. Toolbars. Okay, well, I'm just going to ignore that for the moment. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, it was something lighthearted. Something lighthearted. Folks, I don't know if I've witnessed anything extremely lighthearted in the past couple of days. I wish we had our telephones here. We're supposed to get set up for that sometime. I think I mentioned that. When Paul first approached me about this thing, he was talking about it was going to be him and me and one other person. And now here I am all by myself at the controls. Could probably get into a lot of mischief if I really wanted to, but I'm not. I probably should get an FCC rule book and probably read up on all of that, so I don't get on here and say or do something that I might regret later. So for the time being, I could get irate. I could say I could bring up things that probably better not be brought up at this time until I research this a little further and just find out. Of course, I don't know if any of y'all listen to Johnny Dare, which I tell you what, man, I dig Johnny Dare. You know, some people say, but the dude does a lot of good things for people. And of course, Howard Stern started all that. I remember seeing Howard Stern's picture in a biker magazine. This is before he was even known nationwide. That is. And I don't even remember what his comment was, but I remember seeing a picture of him with his little square glasses on and stuff. And oh yeah, I was asked here a while back about the shades, which back when I'm going to put it this way, before here several years ago. I was having some success as a musician. It was starting to kind of pan out a little bit. And then I became ill, and with this condition that went undiagnosed for quite a while. I just thought, I'm getting old, and this is what's happening. But it affected just about every aspect of my being. I was like, bigger than I am now. My voice was all scratchy, and nobody could hardly understand what I was saying. And it made my hands swell up. It affected my guitar playing and everything. But anyway, I would wear these shades on stage for one thing because the lights are pretty bright, and another thing is I don't know. I thought it had a kind of little, mysterious element to the thing. But I read this story one time um, about this young man that had gotten out of reform school and pretty much immediately got caught up in back up in the gang thing. And this would have been like back in the early '60s, probably, when this story took place. And so anyway, at a certain point in this story, they had a meeting with this, what do you call them people? Well, let's just call them people that work with gangs. Try to get them to focus their energy on more positive things, as a group. But anyway, he passed out a pair of sunglasses to all the members of the gang, and he said, if they can't see your eyes, they can't tell what you're thinking. And no, that's kind of profound. And of course, the eyes are the window of the soul. And I guess I could say I was a little nervous having people be able to see my soul, as it were. Anyway, now that's oh yeah, well, that hurts. That reminds me of the movie Blues Brothers 2000 when El was in the police station and they told him to take off his glasses. He sat there like this. Okay, you put your glasses back on, he said. I just thought it was funny. Anyway, that's the. But anyhow, I'm all better now, and I've got some things going on musically that I'm going to get into here in the near future. I was really inspired by the Ben Miller Band. Excuse me, and I'd first heard about them. They were going to play over at Tailgaters. This has been a few years back already. The guy said, "Yeah, they're really cool, man. They're a bunch of three hillbillies from out of Joplin, and they're just really different. You need to check them out." And I never did. Well, of course, they played the Roots Festival this year, and man, I was just really impressed with them. And I didn't realize at the time that they actually have toured Europe, and opened for ZZ Top, and all that. But that's just kind of stuff I dig. That me and an old friend of mine who actually really taught me how to play the guitar, and I won't mention his name because he's just one of those people that doesn't really care for the spotlight much. Doesn't care for social media. He's not on Facebook, and doesn't like it when people post things about him on Facebook, and the old man still carries around at least one can of whoop ass in his back pocket. So yeah, I don't like to. We're not going to ruffle his feathers by mentioning his name, but him and I, we go way back, and when we both started playing together, that's kind of what we did, was the old time stuff, and I really come to find out that man, people dig that because it's something that you don't really ever get to see or hear on the radio too much. But stay tuned in the future because I'm going to try to get something going on that. And Paul and I have been talking about doing something musically on here in the future. And I'm kind of looking forward to that, actually. Rather than just sitting here just blabbing, you know. Music is really where my heart and my head's at, you know. But people have said, told me for years, man, they say, man, you ought to be on the radio. So you got that deep voice, you got to be on the radio. So, and I've had people tell me that everywhere. And I thought, well, okay, might give that a shot sometime. I never really ever dreamed about being on TV. Never really wanted to be on TV. Never wanted to put my face on TV, really. But here I am, nonetheless. I'm going on blabbing on here. Well, let's see, what else? What else can we talk about here? Let's check, let's do a time check here right quick. 2:50 p.m. It's almost 3 o'clock. Well, anyways, I've got some things to do here this afternoon. And actually, my buddy I was just talking about is actually coming over this evening. I haven't seen him for quite a while. He's been down in Oklahoma working on a job down there. And he called me just this morning and said he was, well, no, we didn't have room for a couple of Missouri boys at the house tonight. Absolutely. So I kind of see the evening kind of progressing into a kind of a kickback, few cold ones and some hillbilly music, fire in the wood stove, and maybe a little venison roasting on top of it. Why don't that sound good? Anyway, so I think I'm going to shut this thing down here. I don't have any, I've taken notes for the last couple of weeks on stuff I wanted to talk about and everything, but I don't have those here in front of me and don't really have the time to get into a lot of it. So anyway, my name is Tyrone, and I'm gonna shut this thing down now and go do something else, and might see you on Friday if everything goes right and we don't fall off the edge of the world or any of that. And I need to start reading the local newspaper a little bit more, I guess, and checking out what's trending on the internet and on the Yahoo and the Facebook. And I'm thinking that this could maybe, what am I trying to say here? Maybe we'll develop a Facebook page or something, kind of pertaining to me and the musical thing, and due to me and kind of. There's one other thing I was going to say about being on the radio. I was really impressed. I gotta say, I was really impressed. When they started the radio station just down the street here. I thought, oh yeah, this is just going to be another mundane, Christian station that nobody's going to pay any attention to. Not necessarily a Christian station. They seem to be a little more broader than that. I'm not going to go into that at the moment because I don't know enough about it to really comment on it too much. But I just remember, I thought, and I hadn't listened to it. So, and then one day I decided, man, I'm going to tune into the local radio station, and tuned it over there at 89.7. The first thing I hear is Johnny Cash singing Folsom Prison Blues, which is the first song that I ever learned how to play. And I thought, man, I said, I like this. So I just want to say to those guys, you know, it's cool deal. We could really use something like that around here. I'm probably not done with those guys either. I'm gonna get in their ear and see what happens there. But I figure out to get maybe a little local mileage here, a little local experience before I waltz into intercom broadcasting up there on Shawnee Mission Parkway and ask for an advance of my first paycheck. So anyway, man, I'm going to shut it down here, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope I didn't ruffle too many feathers today with my traffic rants and all that. But folks, doesn't hurt. It ain't gonna hurt nothing to slow down a little bit, take a little bit of time. You know, pay attention to what's going on out there. Watch the children. You know. And there goes a school bus. I'm going to save that topic for later about the school bus thing. I don't have enough time to even get into that deal right at the moment. So I've got this little red thing in front of me that says stop broadcast, and I'm going to do that. I don't know if I have to press that up there, but before I do anything, I'm just going to wish everybody well. And if I don't see you all before Christmas, Merry Christmas and all that. But hopefully we'll be back here Friday and do this thing again. So from I guess what do they call this? MC. I better find out what I'm talking about before I go talking too much. Anyway, folks, see you later. Don't go change. That didn't do it. Okay. I'm still on here, I think. Stop broadcast. Beep, beep. I didn't do it either.
Okay, all right, well.
Now I'm totally showing my ignorance here about what's going on this thing. It would seem to me like I should be able to do that. Y'all are laughing at me now, aren't you? Oh, you are. I can hear it. I can hear y'all laughing at me. Oh, that reminds me when I was talking about this, me having this gift of foresight. I was doing a little research on my last name, and I found out that some of my ancient ancestors were Druid priests, which is this ancient order of priests that was said to have the gift of foresight. And I thought, well, that's cool. That's where I get that from. Anyways, I'm embarrassing myself here by not being able to figure out what's going on here. You showed me what to do, and then I forgot how to do it. But
Yeah, it's not today, maybe tomorrow. All right.
It's right in the middle of the screen, and it just seems to me like it. Push a button here. Maybe I should rely on Michelle one more time. It says he showed me how to stop the broadcast, but I don't remember what he said, and I don't know what button to push. And yeah, I'm up here. There's people here too. Oh, shucks. Anyway, here comes Michelle. She knows what's going on.
Well, I don't know what I do.
See that? It says stop broadcast, and I'm